Welcome back to another edition of Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com. I'm your host, Tony Simeone, and so excited for another great show this week. First of all, how about that win over the weekend against Purdue? 56 points. It was really fun to see the offense clicking on all cylinders for the Irish, and now they get a great test on the road at Arkansas. So it's a football-centric show this week. Great conversation with head coach Marcus Freeman, and it's a linebacker week, which I always love getting a chance to hear Coach Freeman talk with the linebackers, reminisce about the position he used to play, always that little extra bit of scrutiny on the linebackers as well, and he and Drayk Bowen had some great conversations about the position and really about what it means to be a leader on this defense and on this football team. Later in the show, of course, as always, Isaiah Dunn came by, and wow, got a great story out of Drayk regarding a scorpion. I won't spoil what happens with the scorpion, but I didn't see it coming. Some really unique and in-depth scorpion talk on this week's episode of Wake Up the Echoes. Never thought we'd be here, but here we are talking scorpions on Wake Up the Echoes. A reminder, if you're on campus, at a game, bookstore, whatever it may be, Yeti. I mean, these are gorgeous tumblers right here. Got the Notre Dame Fighting Irish logo on it. Make sure if you're at the stadium or on campus, whether it's a game week or you're just walking around, to get your hands on these because they are really one of a kind and super. I mean, so dynamic and useful. I love what they've done here with this tumbler. So make sure if you're on campus to go get your tumbler with that Fighting Irish logo on it. It's just awesome. One more reminder before we get to this week's episode, and that's to find the right tires. Tire Rack sells only the best brands, backed by their own test results, tire ratings, and consumer reviews. Tires ship fast and free to you or one of over 10,000 recommended installers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Okay, without further ado, let's get to Marcus Freeman and Drayk Bowen. Okay, Coach, great to see you again.
Good to see you.
You brought a linebacker.
My guy.
Drayk Bowen, welcome to Wake Up the Echoes. How's it going?
It's going good. Thanks for having me.
Okay, I actually want to start with this. Bonjour. Help me out. That's all I know in French. You're studying French, I heard.
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Which is...
hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you? Ça va bien? I know Spanish. But
Ça va bien.
Ça va bien.
Yeah.
Ça va bien. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Coach, okay.
No hablo any of that. No.
Yo, oh boy, my past tense. Oh boy, I'm going to really expose myself. I used to speak Spanish, like in, middle school, high school. It's like a muscle. You have to keep repping it and it's gone. But yo hablé español en la pasado? I don't know. That could be really...
This is funny because we took a Disney cruise to the Mediterranean this summer. And I don't know if it's just me or other people do this, but like I think we were in like Sicily or somewhere. And then you try to talk slower English and think, well, because I'm talking slow English. Like I was looking for a barbershop. And I remember going, do you know where the barber shop? And I'm like, it's still English. Like if they don't understand English, they're making it harder to understand.
So do you feel like you've got French under control pretty well or no?
No.
It seems like a hard language.
Yeah, no, it's not
Okay.
easy at all.
Okay.
It's like literally, I did Spanish in high school, and there's some rules to Spanish. Like it's not even the same at all.
Okay.
And like the French that I'm learning, it's like Franglish. So there's like half English, half French, and it's not real French from France. It's like a little bit different.
You're learning a hybrid.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
way harder.
Do you have a second language that you know a little bit, or is it like what we were just doing there with Spanish, kind of embarrassing ourselves? Is that about it for you?
Yeah, that's about it. I can understand like Korean when my mom's mad.
Oh, I should have known that. Okay.
When she's I don't know what she's saying, but I know if she's mad. I had learned how to count in Korean to 10. I thought I probably forgot, so don't ask me.
Okay,
but I know a little bit of Korean, just the basic hello or stuff like that.
I'll tell you this. It's good you're doing this now because just honestly, the older I get, like you were on that cruise, if you've at least got another language in your back pocket, it will come in helpful down the road. And I just in this moment, I felt embarrassed that I couldn't dig back into my Spanish bag. So just keep up the work on French. You're going to need it later in life. I feel like you will. Okay, let's talk a little linebacker first because I think now this is year 3 of having a linebacker on the couch. You've had JD, Jack, Marist. I'll start with you. Head coach here is a linebacker, played it at a high level. And I've always asked the other guys, do you feel like there's always a closer eye on the linebackers when the feedback is coming back from the head coach? I see you.
Yeah. He every day he's over there watching our ND, watching our drills, and then goes and watches our film too. So, we're getting all the eyes from, Max, Coach Free, Coach Ash, getting everybody.
Okay. How is he compared to some of the other guys? How do you like him in this role? He's obviously a great leader for this team. What have you seen from Drayk from the moment he's got on campus to now?
The growth and improvement has been tremendous. Like, he's always been a great athlete. He was a guy that came in, you said, oh, he's a high ceiling guy. But what I've seen is he took a little bit of JD, took a little bit from Kiser, and has really complemented his game, but also leadership in that realm. Like, he's always been ultra talented, but now you're seeing he practices at a high level. Like, he just reminds me of another JD. Like, he really does. And that's a credit to those guys from making him better, leaving the room better than you found it, but also credit to him of saying, okay, I have to soak up this wisdom and put it into practice. And so I've seen him elevate not only as a player, but the leadership is just been really, really good.
What did you learn from those guys? Like, what did you see when you were younger here? Now you're older, but while they were kind of leading the way, what did you take from all those guys you play behind? Because they're great players and they're all playing at a high level right now.
It was kind of something from each of them. Jack last year just learning how to talk to younger people. Like, he was the old guy in the room. As me, Jaden. Sneed's a year older than me, but Sneed's was 21, 22 maybe at the time, and Jack's 24, about to get married. So, seeing Jack being able to learn how to talk to other people, young people, not just JD and Maris that are his age, and then JD taught me a lot. I probably bothered JD to the point where he was annoyed of me. I would sit in on when he was watching film, while he's watching film, asking him questions. What are you looking at? How are you watching film? What are you watching? Like, in this specifically, are you watching tight end, the running back, the O-line? And then just seeing JD, how he practices, how he, would play in the game, just, being that guy that people can look up to, that voice that, when he's going to say something, you listen no matter what, because it's always something important that needs to be said. And so, just seeing both of them just go about their day, being the guy that, is going to go to school, do the right thing, come to the facility, do the things they need to do there to get to where they want to go. It was always something that, I appreciated, especially, they took me under their wing, JD and Jack from when I first got here, JD leaves, Jack last year. It was something that I appreciated.
I feel like linebacker, we could go down the list of all the different positions and all the success they've had, but recently, Coach, this has to make you happy. Like, the linebackers that are here, obviously playing at a high level at the next level, how excited does that make you to see all the success that position group has had?
I mean, that's when you hear him talk about a guy that was here 2 years, his first year, then last year, his second year, and like, that's how great programs are built, right? Is it you leave it better than you found it. He got a little bit from JD, who made him a better player, a better leader, a better worker. And then he got another thing from Jack. And you're seeing him. I mean, that's why I laugh, because he was the young guy that didn't talk. He worked hard, always worked hard, but he didn't talk. And I remember saying to Jack last year, he's got to take over for you. So you better teach him how to lead, how to communicate. And now he's doing it. Now his job is to make the next leader understand what leadership really is and how to practice. And but that's where greatness and great programs are built, is the players leaving it better than they found it. And that's where you got to continue to remind yourself that high school recruiting is so important, because it's hard to get that when you get a guy transfer in for a year. Like, this is developed for 3 years into this product, and he'll continue to get better. But I always challenge Drayk, you got to leave this place better than you found it, just like those guys do.
So you recruited him before you were the head coach, right? When you were linebackers coach in DC? Is that when you guys
are Hattie too? Yeah.
So you guys go way back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's that bond then been like? Like, how does that relationship, I guess, start from your vantage point, Drayk? And then if you think back to when you first got in contact with Coach Freeman, how has it evolved to this point it's at now?
Yeah, it was surprising when they first called me when he was a long time ago at Cincinnati. I remember I was actually literally, my parents woke me up. they're like, Cincinnati wants to talk to you. And, they called me. It was, and we talk, and it was just awesome. And then, kind of we go through the season. Coach leaves, comes to Notre Dame, and, they call me again. I'm sitting in my, one of my coaches, he in his basement, we're talking about some stuff, and they're like, Notre Dame wants to get on the phone with you. And, they talk to me, and, it goes how it goes. And so, it was just, for me, coach was just somebody that it was more than just coaching for me. Going through the process, like I always really try to bond with the coaches. Like, can I play for you? And, but more than just play for you, like, can I develop a relationship with you? And I'll always remember this because, I walk in his office, and it's USC weekend, my junior year.
So this is what year? Like what?
2021.
2021. Okay.
2021, 2021.
Yeah.
And walk in his office, and, I told my parents before, like, I'm committing today. Like, I already told them the week before. I'm like, I walk in his office, I tell him, and, we're super excited and everything. But what I told my parents, a couple of days before was I could tell every other coach no and be okay with that. I can't tell Coach Freeman no and not, think about what it would have been like to play for him. And, when I told them that, and, they drilled me on it because I was committing really early in the process and everything. And so, but, when I had answered all their questions, they knew that, Notre Dame was a spot for me. And, I told Coach, like, I want to play for you. Like, that's my coach.
Yeah. So to me, I hear that, Coach, and that's exactly what you're talking about, right? Because a lot has changed in college football, transfer portal, so many different things. But I've heard you say it all the time, like, you have to be invested in the high school recruiting. And I think I hear that, and I hear a guy that was, 16, 17 years old. And you've talked about how this decision, it's a super impactful decision beyond just football. Mm-hmm. And those relationships are what you want to have, whether it's you, another position coach, because it builds, I think, just so much trust within the program, right?
Yeah. It's just interesting. I vividly remember the Cincinnati stuff, but I do remember when I got here and we were evaluating the linebacker board, and I watched him play, and it wasn't great competition, but he was like dominating offense.
I've seen the film. I've seen some of the film.
I was like, oh man, this dude's a football player. And then, I saw some workout videos, and that's I was like, okay, this dude loves the game. He's a grinder. Then we develop a relationship, right? I was probably a lot nicer when I was recruiting him than I am now. But this is where, when you get here, is when you really grow a relationship. Like, you learn the most about people during tough times, and you have to go through ups and downs when you have a relationship. If it's all up, then it's not a real relationship. It's phony, right? Mm-hmm. Your acquaintances. But, we've been through ups, we've been through downs, we've been through great times, we've been through tough conversations, and that's where this relationship has grown. And I've really realized a lot of things about Drayk during tough times and who he is. And so that's the journey, man. You start a 16-year-old, you get to know his family, a wonderful family. Brother Dilly, the baseball player, then he's got the baby, who was a baby at the time, Crew.
So I want to talk about the family.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear all about them. So you're the oldest of four, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The youngest one, I want to get to Crew in a second, but you just talked about how you have to learn how to maybe communicate with younger guys in the room. You've got a brother that's about, he's 18, he's going to play basketball next year. So does baseball. Sorry. Because you play baseball too, right?
I did.
But I guess growing up in a house full of boys like that, only child here. So I always come with Coach, and I need to be educated on what the sibling thing is like. But did that help you to become, and again, you saw the leaders before you, but learn how to have to communicate now that I have younger guys beneath me that I need to kind of lead on this journey as a linebacker?
Yeah. My brother is not the nicest, I would say. He likes to mess with people a lot. He likes to nag at you. So, just that's always been something that I've just dealt with him. It's just something that you deal with when you got a little brother. And so, but, seeing him grow up now, and me and him have a really special relationship. I went through through high school, and my experience was a lot different than his. He goes to a public school. I went to a private school. So,
Sure.
But he loves it. He loves it. And, but being able to talk to him now when, he's grown up and seeing how he's matured and everything, it does help you be able to talk to, you got Bodie Cahoon, Teddy, Madden, KVA when
because they're about the same age, right? I mean, more or less, yeah.
Basically, and so you still understand the lingo a little bit of like the 6'7" thing. I still don't get it.
I was gonna add, what does that even mean?
I have no clue.
You don't get. So you got another guy that feels old here. Do you know the 6'7" thing? Okay, good.
Like,
it's better that we
don't. Does it like be messing with me? I always says it and starts laughing and like so just being able to talk with those guys and still like understand their lingo, be able to do stuff with them, not just be an older guy that understand it. Like I got the little brother at home that keeps me learning, I guess.
Yeah,
and the young stuff.
Okay, so you mentioned Dylan. He's the one that's giving you a hard time. He's about to graduate and play at the college level. But let's talk about Crew. Okay, he's now 3 years old.
Yeah,
so that's a big age gap. And this is going to be for both you guys because I have a 15-month-old son. So we're not quite at 3, but you've seen him grow up and you've had, a different lens than the average sibling to see what that's like. So what can I expect from a 3-year-old? I'll start with you, Coach. 3 years old, you think about that? Or even if you've seen Crew recently, like what comes to mind when those kids are running around that age?
Oh, it goes fast, man. I remember when Crew was born and now he's 3. I didn't know he's 3. It just shows you how fast time flies. But it's fun, man. It's fun. Now, just remember, little kids, little problems. Big kids, big problems.
Everyone keeps telling me that.
Enjoy it. I mean, a little poopy diaper or a little throw up or whining, like, that's little problems, man. Enjoy that stuff. Then you get to 18 and you got to deal with big problems. Big attitudes. And so, but that's fun. Like, those are some of the best times, man. Those toddler ages, like, hold on to those moments. They're special.
So what's it been like to have a sibling that age? Because that's super unique to have that age gap. But I imagine it's been really fun to see him grow up.
Yeah, it's been great for me. Like I don't got to do the parent stuff. Like I don't got to discipline. I don't got to change diapers. Like change one diaper.
Okay. That's more than I had done before I became a dad. So you're ahead of the game.
I did it one time. I got told I was babysitting for a little bit, and I had to change one diaper. But other than that, I get to have fun. Go play with him, do what he wants. Throw football.
Poopy diaper?
No, I was good.
Okay, so you're still in the.
You haven't changed.
Yeah, you haven't really changed.
Then I did have to. He's potty training, and I got put on babysit duty again.
Oh,
and I did have to.
There was a mess.
Yeah, there was a mess. So I had to. Clean some stuff up.
There you go.
That's where I just get to have fun with him. He runs and I get to play with him. I don't gotta discipline.
Yeah.
So I get to do all the cool stuff.
Well, I imagine too I'm trying to think from his vantage point, it's gonna be super cool to have you as like an older brother. The older he gets, like this guy to look up to that's gonna have so much life experience. That's super neat. Along those lines, maybe like taking care of a sibling or a baby. I've got a source that tells me you're into cooking. Is this true?
Yeah.
Okay. So lay it on me, like go-to. We talked steak last week. I don't even know what's your go-to dish. What are your maybe top 2 or 3 dishes you like to cook?
Steak. I really like sweet potatoes, so I'll do sweet potatoes a lot.
How do you prepare those?
Really just peel them, cut them up into the cubes, and then season them.
You're gonna roast. Like they're going in the oven. You're roasting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oven.
So if I'm coming over, you're going steak and sweet potatoes.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's probably.
And how are you cooking your steak?
When I learned, I started to learn on the grill. Now I'm last summer learned at home a little bit, but mainly we just do it on the stovetop, just some oil and.
Have you seen like
butter.
Gordon Ramsay video?
No.
You sear it and you take it off. The butter goes in. All right, I'll get you the video. Coach, my understanding is you're not a chef in your spare time. You don't cook much, or do you cook much?
No, but I can survive.
You can survive. So could you could put together a steak and sweet potatoes if you had to?
I could use the microwave for the steak if I need to survive. But it's funny, like you talk about your sweet potato. I remember my mom. We used to have I think it's like a kerosene heater, space heater type thing.
Okay.
So she would put the sweet potatoes on top of it.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And
yes.
it
would steam them.
Yeah. And then you would peel off the skin and eat it. It was like. But again, if you're hungry, like you're gonna survive, and so I can survive. I can't do all those.
Yeah.
I mean, I could if I really wanted to figure it out.
You're the kind of guy, if you put your mind to something, you could accomplish it.
Yeah, but if I need to survive, I'm not going to starve.
Okay.
I promise you that. I'll figure it out.
I'm way off topic here, but we'll see how this goes. So, do you know what an infomercial is? Are you old enough to know what an infomercial is?
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
So I don't know about you, Coach, but we're about a similar age range. Like I wake up at 6 a.m. The TV's not like playing broadcast, whatever it is in the morning yet, and it's the infomercial. And I'm thinking of the Ron Popeil, the Set It and Forget It. Do you know the infomercial I'm talking about, or the George?
I don't know. I know what an infomercial. I don't know what that is.
But like infomercials used to be the way they would sell things on TV. Now you're scrolling and they're just hitting you with an ad and you hit shop now, right? But in the past, it'd just be like a 30-minute informational commercial. And I heard you. I think I've seen the device you're talking about. Like it's some kind of device where you set it and you make something, but on top it'll steam your veggies for you as well. And at the time, it was mind blowing. Like I wanted to buy. I mean, I was 8 years old, but I wanted to buy one. But I can't believe you don't know what an infomercial is.
I think I do.
But you haven't experienced one. Like when you when you watch TV, this is what I worry about with my kid. We're going to talk parenting now. You can just watch whatever you want whenever you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like growing up, I had to turn on the TV and wait for a certain time for a certain show to be on. Now you can have anything you want anytime. You don't feel any guilt about that we had to wait over instant gratification.
That's right.
How do you okay? So you have a lot of players on your team that have stuff like that. How do you teach delayed gratification as a coach or as a parent when things come so instantly now to all these guys?
That's easy.
Okay.
It's not easy, but it's
straightforward.
They're the greatest things I always say in life take time. And so you have to show them like the great things that you want is all about delayed gratification. And you have to give them examples and show them and get them to understand that, because a lot of things now in society in our lives are instant gratification. You want something, you get it. But that's what I'm saying. Clothes aren't the greatest things in life, right? Like YouTube isn't the greatest thing. It's like you want to be a great football. You want to go to the NFL. You want to start at Notre Dame. That takes time and it takes work. And you have to understand delayed gratification to grasp that opportunity, to become that thing you desire to be. I always use this. He's gonna laugh, but I always use this in team meetings. Like it's a lot easier to look something to be something.
To look something. Oh, I see.
To be that thing you're trying to look like. Right? Like
you can dress up.
I can dress up and post a picture and buy somebody's car and do that and then post it. You know what I mean? And it's a lot easier to look that than to be that thing you are trying to look like. If you want to be that thing, you got to understand and value delayed gratification.
Okay. So then how do you be a Notre Dame captain and linebacker and not just look like one, Drayk?
I think that goes back to a lot of what JD and Jack taught me. You do the right thing every day. You're going to be the same person every day. You're not going to change. Jack was Jack. Like we all loved Jack because we knew we were getting the same Jack every day. JD was going to come in. He was going to work hard every day. He was going to do everything he needed to do during the day. He was going to hold everybody accountable during the day. And, he was also going to do the things that, you have to do to be a Notre Dame linebacker outside of the facility. You weren't going to see JD doing all the stuff that gets people in trouble. Same thing with Jack. They were going to, go home, go to sleep early, get up early. They were going to, eat the right things, but they were, going to go to class. They weren't going to skip. They were going to do all the things that you need to do to be a great Notre Dame man, along with a Notre Dame linebacker, that's in the facility and out of the facility. And so, that those are the people I try to be like is the people that I learned from, JD and Jack, of what a Notre Dame linebacker, means.
Yeah.
And that's to piggyback off of that, like that's a great example of delayed gratification, right? Like he wants to be a great football player and he wants to be a captain. You can't do something one day and that's who you become.
Mm-hmm.
That you're talking about a process of 3 years, right? Of every day doing something, every day in like going like, man, when, and all of a sudden you've earned the respect of your teammates to be named a captain. You've earned the trust from your coaches to say you're the starting middle linebacker for Notre Dame. Like he didn't come in here. He wanted it the minute he walked in here, he wanted to start. But every day you have to work. That's delayed. That's when I mean the greatest things in life take time. That's an example because you can't just do something today and all of a sudden you're this.
Yeah.
Right? You have to keep working at it and working. And the other part of that is to stay that, if not improve, you got to continue to work. It
can't be the culmination of everything. You can't stop there.
You can't be named the captain and say, all right, I'm named the captain, I'm going to stop working. Because now you don't uphold that title that you've been given, that you've earned, right? Then all of a sudden nobody's going to view you as a captain. And so being named a captain, that's momentarily gratification. You've wanted to get that, then you're named it. Now you got to uphold that title, and you got to uphold the title to be a starting linebacker, and then you got to continue to work. And so it never stops.
Yeah.
It never stops.
I hear you saying like the C and the green dot are just this thing that kind of validates the work you put in, but it's not this thing that you should look as some ultimate accomplishment.
That's right.
It just recognizes the work you've put in.
Amen.
Okay. Hard pivot here. So you don't like scary movies, is what I've been told. Hate them. And I've been told that you have a tendency to do you prank people with masks is what I'm hearing? There's some kind of like scary mask thing you do? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Like I like to dress up. Like when I was at Cincinnati, I would like dress up and I would just put a scary mask on. And I like it because like I don't feel any different, but you can see people's reaction. Like the kids, I used to scare the kids all the time. Like I would have like 10 scary masks and I would have them hidden, and every once in a while I'll just put it on and walk around the house. And the young kids, crew, like a 3-year-old, they would go crazy, but I don't know. But I don't love scary movies.
You haven't done it here?
Not yet.
So you haven't seen Coach walk around in a mask. Would that startle you if you, okay, forget if it's Coach, although that would be probably frightening. If someone comes around a corner with like a scary mask, is that going to spook you?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want any of that. And you don't want any scary movies. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. But you like scary movies?
No, I'm not. I mean, I don't just sit there and say, hey, let's watch a scary movie. Like I could watch it, but I'm not a huge fan.
I don't like them. So we haven't talked a lot of movies on this. Just off the top of your head, favorite movie. Do you have one?
Ooh.
I've got one for me.
Mm.
I'm going to go with Hangover. The older I get, and again, I think the jokes now, we've heard them so many times, that if I could go back and watch a movie for the first time again, it would be The Hangover. Just because I think the first time I saw it, it was just shocking, and it was so good. And then you, of course, redid the scene a couple years ago, which was phenomenal acting work. But I think Hangover is, if I go back, I'd probably pick that one. And then I'll go with a classic like Sandlot. Sandlot's a great one, too. But what do you got? Family's getting together, all the guys, they're back. What are you guys watching? There's got to be something.
I'm trying to think. My probably a sports movie of some type. Probably like, I don't know. We probably watch like, me personally, I'm probably watching a football movie like Remember the Titans or something like that.
Classic.
Friday Night Lights. Like I always like that one. And then, but my uncle and my stepmom, they like know every single movie out there. Like you like he can name like quotes from a movie 30, 40 years ago. Okay. Bro, you weren't even born yet. Like how do you know that? I don't know. Watch the movie. Also, Once Hotman.
Yeah,
that's a good one there.
That's a good
What
one.
about you, Coach? What's in your wheelhouse?
It's all based on the environment, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're watching with your kids, if I could pick one movie to watch with the kids, it'd be Lion King. I'm a huge Lion King fan. If it's me and my wife, I don't know. She's like she likes the I can't remember. It's Dateline and stuff like that.
Oh, we're watching Dateline.
She likes that stuff.
Oh,
but
my mom would love to be involved. That's all she watches and just calls us to say, "I'm solving a case."
Yeah,
right
she loves those type of things, or The Notebook, or some soft movie. But if I want to like laugh by myself, nobody's around, I would probably put on like Friday or something like that.
Oh, okay.
If I just want to laugh by myself.
Yeah.
But it's all about the environment.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Good answers. I like those. Last one. Let's just talk a little bit looking forward. I'm really excited about this game this week. I'll start with you, Drake. What excites you about the chance to go on the road and play a really good team in Arkansas?
Yeah, I love going on the road. It's you versus everyone. You're the enemy in somebody else's house, and so yeah, and they got a good team, good running back, good O-line, so I'm excited.
Coach, how about you? Great opportunity, I think, to go out there and make a statement on the road.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately it's the opportunity to achieve team glory. Like that's why you do this, and you put a lot of work into be able to feel that feeling that we felt last Saturday, and this is a great opponent. It's going to be a great challenge, and that's the competitive side of you looks forward to doing that against a great opponent. But more than anything is we'll put all this work in so these guys can get that great feeling that they get after a victory.
Coach, appreciate you stopping by. Drayk, we're going to keep you around, but Coach, we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, Drayk, thanks a bunch for sticking around. We now have our subject matter expert segment. It's presented by the tire experts at TireRack.com. I got a few more questions I want to ask you before Isaiah gets here. I actually just thought of this one that I wrote down. I wanted to know because we're different. How old are you? You're 21?
21.
21, okay. So I'm 36, so 15 years. Every year, you guys, the athletes, get younger and younger here. But we talked a lot of linebacker, and I had one question I forgot to ask. Who were the linebackers that you looked up to growing up? Like, who were your favorite linebackers, whether it's college, but most likely NFL when you're growing up playing football?
Yeah, so the first one was Luke Kuechly. Like, just watching him, like, that was always somebody that I loved watching. Like, watch how he played the game. It was like he knew the play before it was happening. Then the other one was Bobby Wagner. Like, I love those two were always my favorite linebackers. Just, both of them were so smart, and then just they played hard. They played fast, physical. They were just really good linebackers.
You're speaking my language. I grew up in Seattle, so Bobby Wagner, close place to my heart. I mean, that Seahawks defense, you probably would have been pretty good age to see Legion of Boom. Like, yeah, I mean, those guys, when they should have won 2 Super Bowls, only won 1. But Bobby Wagner, I was thinking back, even like probably too young for like Lofa Tatupu. You know that name? He was kind of the linebacker before Bobby Wagner. But Kuechly and Wagner, those are 2 studs.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk some baseball. So you were on the baseball team. Was it your first year here?
First two.
Tell me the experience of being on both teams. A couple guys have done it really in the history of Notre Dame football and baseball, but what was that experience like, getting to play both sports? It's got to be obviously a lot on your plate, but what was it like for you?
Yeah, so, first year I come in the spring, and, they're going through practice and stuff, and they ended up redshirting me, which wasn't really a surprise. I came in January, season starts in February, March. So, it was just kind of getting the ropes at that point of what baseball in college is like, along with football and then school. So, that one wasn't too bad. It was more just getting the ropes. And then the next year comes, and I make the travel roster. So, we get done with football, I make the travel roster. And that spring was a lot. It was school. And then you leave Thursday. You're back home Sunday.
Long trips.
Yeah, Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday you play. Thursday you leave. You get there. You have a practice. Then you leave Sunday. Most of the time you're home 2, 3 in the morning. And then you would get Monday off if you were baseball player only. But for me, I also had off season lifting. So then Monday morning comes. I had to be up at 6 for workouts. So then I'm up at 6. Go to class, and then I get the rest of Monday off. And then Tuesday,
Western Michigan's coming to town.
Yeah, Tuesday was either a practice if we didn't have a midweek game, or it was a midweek game. So then I'd do lifts in the morning, class, baseball again. Then Wednesday you practice, and Thursday you leave again. So that was my. Then Thursday morning I would do a lift in the morning to do Friday's lift. So I was trying to catch up. So I was lifting like once or twice on Thursday, depending on when we were leaving or playing. And then kind of that was the whole process all the way through May. And then, May, they let me kind of go home and recover, let my body recover. So I got about 2 or 3 weeks off, and then it was right back here for football.
Yeah. I'm overwhelmed just listening to that. It sounds like at a certain point you had to just decide, I need to focus on one of these things, because I get the sense just listening to that, there's almost a ceiling you put on yourself for like what you can do in either one of those sports if you're going to try to split the time, right? You're like, I have to, I mean, you tell me, but it seems like I have to try to maximize my time as a linebacker here.
Yeah, it was something where like my body wasn't recovering either. Like I wasn't getting enough sleep, like, and then that's what a lot of people, when they talk to me that spring, they're like, you look tired, like you whatever it was. And, it was just a lot on my plate, and, along with, sports is, school. And then it was like, you have to find time to study. So you're going on these trips. You're trying to play baseball and focus on baseball, but you're also studying at the same time, getting ready for school and, doing all the things you need to along in the classroom, along with, all the other sports and stuff. So, yeah, that was hard. And it came to a point where it was like, all right, after the national championship, like, I didn't make a decision here. I talked with, Coach Free, linebackers coach, Coach Bula.
Yeah.
And, I talked to my parents because, baseball was always, two sports was always something I wanted to do in college. And, they had talked to me and they're like, you probably need to decide at some point. And so, I talked to Coach Free and, he had, just talking with him, they said your future's probably going to be in football. So, it was something where the baseball coaches, I talked to them right after, they wanted me to get a break because obviously we ended in the middle of January last year. So, they were like, you needed weeks off to get a break, and their season started middle of February. So they're like,
it's like 3 weeks later.
Yeah, 3 weeks later, like, it just wouldn't make sense. So, it's ultimately up to you of what you decide. But, they were okay with me kind of stepping away and walking away from baseball.
Was that tough? Is it tough to let it go?
It was at first, it's something that I've always done. Like every spring was filled with baseball. So, at first it was tough, but, just kind of going through that spring, like I had a lot more time. Just, school to let my body recover that spring. Focus on things I wanted to focus on as far as football goes. So, it was tough at first, but now I look back on it, it wasn't too hard of a decision to make for me.
Okay, so I have a question then about the two sports, because so I never played football. I played golf instead of football in high school. But what I've always found interesting about football, and it's so much of a contrast to baseball, is football is so much practice. It's so much, it's meetings, it's installs, it's practice, and it's 12 games in the regular season. Last year you played 16, but like that's a tenth of what you would play in a baseball season at the highest level, right? Baseball's the opposite. You're just constantly playing games. I mean, you're getting a BP session in, you're practicing in the off season, but mostly it's, so it's other ends of the spectrum. How do you, I guess I'm just curious from the football mind, like, do you like that? Like, do you like how, because the ratio of study and practice to playing is like the opposite in football and baseball. What do you prefer? And I guess, how are you able to embrace that in football? Because I struggled with that when I was thinking about playing football growing up. Like, this is going to be a lot of practice for not a lot of games.
Yeah, I think that's with the baseball side. Like, you have a bad game, you play the next day.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, football, you have a bad game, you got to wait a week. So it's like there's that part where you kind of just, which is always nicer to, be able to come back. But at the same time in football, like, there's so much that you could work on that week to improve. Where baseball, like, something's wrong with your swing.
Could be a week-long slump.
Yeah, you could be in a slump for a while because you're not getting a break at all. So for me, I love watching film. I love installs. I love sitting in the meetings, like just figuring it out. Because once you figure it out, like, the game's easy.
It clicks.
You call out the plays. You could know what the offense is doing before they do it, and that's what makes it fun. Is it's kind of like a chess game. Like, they're trying to get the defense into something they want. You're trying to get the offense to something you want, and it's like whoever can figure out the moves first is going to win. And so, you watch all the film all week to try and figure out a couple plays in the game that's gonna change the game. And then, you go through practice, you see the same formation, see the same plays, but when you recognize it in the game and you call it out, and they can't check most of the time, like, because hopefully you study enough, their checks. That's what makes it fun.
I will say too, it does seem like when things go well in football, nothing matches that. Like the excitement of a post-game locker room, or like you said, like when it all comes together defensively and you make a great play or you score. Like, I love baseball, but nothing, I don't think, on a baseball diamond compares to like a great football win, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's the best. Okay, last one I have. You were telling me before we started this, you're taking a class right now with ethics in sports. Is that what you said it's called?
Yeah.
Okay, Tell me what that's all about. What are you learning? Because that obviously fits into what we talk about here.
So the past couple of days have been, people like today we talked about like, the extortion basically of players, getting money taken from them. Like, the Fernando Tatis, big deal when he signed. The BLA loaned him money.
Okay.
And they said, well, when he was young, they loaned him money to get through minor leagues, and they wanted an 8% return on his big contract.
Okay.
If he made it. And so it's like those are some of the issues we talk about. Then you get some of the fun ones like, should Barry Bonds be in the Hall of Fame? Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? Like some of those, it's just the ethical issues surrounding different types of things in sports.
Those are probably some really lively class debates, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Do you have an opinion, and do you want to share whether or not you think Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame?
I mean, I don't care because I played baseball, so like I know steroids do not help you hit the baseball. Like they can help you hit it farther, maybe, but at the end of the day, like even before he was taking steroids, he just that part of his career, he should still be in the Hall of Fame. Like,
yeah, was a great player before.
Yeah, like he also had to hit the ball still. So.
I've heard a pretty compelling case that I think that era that's, let's call it, marred by steroids, they could just put them in the Hall of Fame in a wing and have a little placard that, acknowledges, hey, this era there was controversy about the steroids. They're here, but take that all with a grain of salt and do with it what you will. Because unfortunately, it's like when I was kind of in my peak, like childhood, adolescence, like there's all these great players that I feel like we don't talk about anymore because there was this controversy at the time. And that's not to take a side on whether or not, they broke a rule. They shouldn't have done it, obviously. But to then not be able to recognize them and have a conversation about it. As we go on, it's like, there's going to be generations like, well, who was Barry Bonds? Someone was talking about him, but somebody said he's not in the Hall of Fame. He's not any good. So I don't know. It's a great topic for your class.
And the other thing for me is like, what's the difference of somebody taking steroids versus the MLB creating a ball that's juiced?
Sure.
Like, you got people hitting 490-foot home runs. Well, Barry Bonds wasn't hitting 490-foot home runs. He was just hitting 50 home runs a year, 60 home runs a year, whatever it was. So it's like, what's the
difference?
difference?
There's different ways to bend the rules that have happened, and there was one thing they came down on.
Well, and it's like the MLB's creating the juice balls. Like, what's the difference? Like, you hit a ball hard, it goes out of the park. Well, he took steroids, but he still had to hit the ball. Like, to me, it's all the same. But
when's that class meet? Well, I'm gonna try to come to that class sometime. I want to get in one of those discussions. You let me know how I get there because it seems like some good topics.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll take a break, and then Isaiah's gonna come in. All right, Isaiah, great to have you back. This is our Tell Me a Story segment presented by Yeti. As always, anything?
Water, please.
Yes.
Agua.
Last chance. Yeah, he's keeping.
No, he's good.
He's been super locked in for like an hour. It's really impressive stuff. Have at it. It's all you. I'm a fly on the wall, but I like to flutter my wings when necessary.
I think these stories are getting better.
Okay.
Each week.
A lot of pressure.
And, last week was awesome. We had the fight scenes. But this week, I don't even know the full story. What I do know is that there's a scorpion involved. There's a Drake and there's a scorpion. And I'm going to let Drake tell the story, but apparently you've gotten stung.
Yeah. So my grandparents live in Texas, and they live in a pretty rural part, like live in the middle of nowhere, 30 minutes to the closest town. So it's not normal. Like it's not uncommon to see a snake from a tree, or just a snake running around, or coyotes at night or something like that. So we're in the driveway. So kind of picture this. They got a pretty long driveway, and they got big trees just all along the side, like down the sides of the driveway. So, my dad just trying to help out. He's all right, we're going to pick up like the pine cones and stakes all along the driveway. So we're going to just move them, pick them up, move them to the side. So we had a big pile. I go to grab it, and, I feel something go in my hand.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, trying to think, maybe it's a pine cone. Like I grab something, and then I feel it come out. I'm like, oh, I got bit by a snake. Like, I'm kind of freaked out right now. And I'm like, grab my hand. I see a little scorpion run out, and I'm like freaking out because in the end we don't got any scorpions here, like nothing like that. And so my dad's kind of walking. I'm like, Dad, I got stung by a scorpion. he starts laughing. Like he's like, all right, well, first he like, what color is it? I was like, brown. He's like,
I think like the lighter the worst.
yeah, like the red ones are bad. Brown, like it's all right. Like you should be fine.
We're good here.
So he starts like laughing. He's like, all right, come on. And they bring me in. They give me some like Benadryl, put some stuff on my hand, like whatever. And and then sitting outside, they're like, "Are you good?" And then I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "You're not tired yet?" No. 5 minutes later, passed out from the Benadryl, like, and then I wake up about 3 hours later. I'm like, "Am I gonna be all right?" Like nobody's told me if I'm gonna be good or not.
Why aren't they giving you any information?
I know there's no info.
Like they're like, "Oh yeah, you're fine." Like it was just a little brown one. You're gonna be all right. I'm like, so scorpions. No, yeah, you'll be all right. I'm like, all right, well then I guess I'll be all right. But
so you said it was a scorpion, though. Huh?
When you woke up, was your hand?
No, it was like all good. Like it was all good and everything. They like act like nothing happened. I'm like, personally, I'm not a country boy. Like,
right.
I don't really necessarily like the country, but it's pretty and stuff. But
it's not for you.
That wasn't my ideal right there.
All due respect, but it's not for me.
Right. That was kind
of respect it, but no.
That was kind of like the turning point for me. Stung by a scorpion. I'm good.
Get me on the 4th floor of a condo immediately.
I can't imagine my first thought if I'm just picking up pine cones, doing a good service, which we were doing, and then you just feel a sting. You thought it was a snake. Yeah. I would have been just scared of a snake as I was a scorpion.
Yeah, I'd have someone sucking the venom out if it was a snake. Immediately, I'd be like, "Please, all right, is that what you do? All right, take the snake." If that was me, it'd be, "Come on, help me out. I just got stung." I thought for a second with the scorpion, you might have to do that too. I didn't know how that all went down.
You think they would have done that for you if it was
maybe
green?
I don't know. I don't know if they would have just looked at me like I was crazy or something.
Like, what if you told your dad, like, "No, it's a green one"?
So the green
one, I would have just looked at me like,
"Help me." Right. Hold on. So what's the worst one? Do you know?
I think it's the red one.
Red one.
There's red.
So I need you to go back. This is your dad that was involved with this?
Yeah.
Okay. Go back to him and help me understand this. Is there one that's like kind of translucent? Kind of like
clear?
They kind of like, they blend it. So I have a scorpion story too.
Oh.
So I was living in Arizona and I got out of the bathroom after a shower. I've never been more startled in my life. I walked back into the bedroom and there's a scorpion on the wall, like by my bed. And so I lived alone at this time. And I was just like, I have to address this because I can't, pretend it's not. I can't go to sleep in this house with a scorpion on the wall. And I just grabbed a shoe and I yelled and I ran at the wall and I smacked it. And it like came out of its shell basically and then died. And I got rid of it. Then I drove to a coworker's house for 3 hours and just like stayed there because I like calmed down. I was so overwhelmed with adrenaline and emotion. But I did kill it. But it was my point is it was translucent. Maybe now I'm thinking maybe it wasn't a scorpion at all. But I'm just saying that like I thought I killed a scorpion and saved my own life. But I'm not hearing you say anything about the translucent ones.
I saw a little brown one. Was running away, and I was kind of freaked out a little bit. So it was.
So they're fast.
Yeah, it's going.
I know
I got lucky. Like I got lucky. I saw what it was.
Well, they're part of like the spider family, right? They're like cousins.
They're arachnids.
Arachnids, yeah.
Really?
I did some research before I came in. Didn't know that.
That's why you're a great co-host. So here's what I'm starting to think now. So I think is it possible that we've all been lied to? And scorpions, they're not all they're talked up to be. He's walking over to Dad. Dad's like, "You're fine,"
and he's here,
and his hand's here.
He's fine.
So it's like maybe is there something going on where like big scorpion is out there trying to convince us that they're more dangerous than they are, when really you shouldn't be too concerned about a scorpion bite.
Seems like that.
Maybe we're onto something.
It's not.
I don't know. Nobody's freaked out about it, so I'm like, all I hear about is bad scorpion. Like you get stung by a scorpion, like you're in trouble.
Yeah, that's all I ever knew. That's why I was freaking out in my apartment. So you're the only one on this couch that's never encountered a scorpion.
Thankfully, so I would take off running. Yeah. I probably would have handled it the worst.
Yeah.
Out of the three, I'm not a huge insect guy. I had some spider stories. Didn't go too well. But yeah.
Okay.
Even in the Goog, I've had a spider story. It was in my cleat.
Ooh.
Chuck the cleat. I almost hit, I think it was Carson or Christian. But I didn't hit him. Thank goodness.
So spider was in your cleat?
Spider was in my cleat. Freaked out. Don't advise.
So you think you're arachnophobic?
Yeah.
I think I am too. How do you feel about spiders? You okay?
I'm all right.
Okay.
Snakes too. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
deal with
You
snakes.
like the snakes were on the trees.
Okay, last question, because you guys got to run. Just, you guys can think of a name, player on the team, if you're in a situation like that, spider, snake, scorpion, dangerous critter is encountering you. Who do you want on the team to intervene to help you out? Who do you trust the most? Hold on, just keep it in your head. Let me know when you got it. I'll have Drake. We always guess goes first, so Drake, who do you got?
I think I'm going to go Preston Zinter. He,
Linebackers stick together. Got it.
you know, he's very outdoorsy. Loves hunting, loves being outdoors. So, you know, if something's going to go wrong with another animal, like, you know, he's probably going to know what to do.
Yeah.
So
I can see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
I like that answer. I'm in fact doing the opposite. I'm not staying with the DBs whatsoever. I think all of them would be the worst people to have saved my life with insects. I think I'm going Jordan Botelho because I don't think he'd be scared of it.
Unfazed.
I think he'd be unfazed.
scared of him.
I think he would be scared of him. I think the scorpion would, and then run away. I think JB would scare off the
Okay, here's the next sack for Jordan Botelho. He has to hit the scorpion.
scorpion.
Next sack. You guys are to pass that on.
Yeah.
We'll try to get that started here. Okay.
Right.
Isaiah, great job as always. Drake, great story. And also, just shout out to your dad for keeping everyone calm. We're going to come back and hopefully get some correct information on the dangers of scorpions. I'm going to be putting out any misinformation, but I think we're onto something that it's all going to be okay. Just play it cool and you'll be fine.
I'm going to look into the clear ones.
Okay.
To make sure.
All right.
I think you're into something.
Thanks for coming by, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thanks again to Isaiah and Drayk Bowen for that awesome scorpion conversation. Learned a lot, and I still need to actually check on the clear scorpions. I'll get an answer to you, though, next week to make sure that they are as lethal as I thought they were. Okay, it's now time for our Ask a Host segment. This is quickly becoming my favorite segment of the week because I get to talk about myself. And what better thing for an only child to do than just that? So here we go. Let me also just say real quick, and I'll address this. I think I've talked about this with Coach Freeman and Coach Shrewsbury in the past, but there's a lot of only child slander out there that we're going to debunk over the course of season 3 of Wake Up the Echoes. So let that be on the record. Okay, thank you for the question. This actually comes from Alex in Akron, Ohio. So thank you, Alex. He says, today's my birthday, HBD, and like most people do on their birthday, I've been reflecting on my life and the journey that's brought me here. My question for you is this. When you think back to your younger self, did you ever imagine you'd be where you are today? Was there a specific moment or experience that set you on this path? Okay, lots to unpack there. So, again, happy birthday to Alex. Let's start with this. Did I ever imagine I would be where I am today? I have to candidly say no. I had no dreams of being the broadcast voice of Notre Dame athletics growing up. Specifically, I am the son of 2 USC graduates, class of 76, so grew up rooting on the wrong side of this rivalry. So Notre Dame was never in the picture, never something I thought of. Now, that said, growing up, I definitely wanted to become a play-by-play broadcaster if possible, and ideally it was for the Seattle Mariners, who I grew up watching, who now suddenly might potentially win the World Series this year. It won't happen, but they're going to at least tease us. But I say all that to say that when I was growing up, I would have loved to be the broadcast voice of the Seattle Mariners or the Seattle Supersonics. But as time went on, you start to learn that there's only one of those jobs. They don't open up very often. So what I kind of brought in my goal to be is to be the voice of a team. That could have been a professional sports team, a college sports team, and fortunately, somehow, some way, I've managed to now become the play-by-play voice of Notre Dame football and men's basketball. So it's something I've talked about before. Feel super honored and lucky to have this role. And so, yes, I did dream, or what did you say exactly? I've been reflecting. The question is, when did you imagine you'd be where you are today? So yes, I did imagine I would be in a role like the one I'm in today. So that's the first part of the question. Was there a specific moment or experience that set you on this path? So I could go to a million here. I am going to rattle off more than one. I have the liberty to do that. So the first one is obviously going to sleep listening to those broadcasters in Seattle. I think Dave Niehaus and Kevin Calabro were 2 of the best local broadcasters in that era of let's call it the 1990s. And just listening to them obviously motivated me and gave me great inspiration. So that's why I knew I wanted to do that. I would say graduating college, when I left college, this is for anybody young that's listening out there, I tell this to all the students that come through Notre Dame's broadcast program, I assumed I'd walk across the stage and then someone would hand me a really cool broadcast job. And that did not happen. Didn't even come close to happening. And so that, I would say, let's call it the senior year of college through the next year or two of not getting broadcasting jobs, ultimately moving to New Orleans to valet park cars and sweep tennis courts at a country club while I applied for minor league broadcasting jobs was very humbling and helped me understand, I think, a little bit more about what it was going to take to ultimately get here. And then the final inflection point is getting to Notre Dame. And part of this is learning some of the production skills I did at a previous job that helped me get a job here. But getting here, ultimately, in a production role with Fighting Irish Media is the only reason I have the job I have now. And a lot of people at this place have been really supportive in helping me kind of transition from that production world to a more full-time broadcasting role. But the infrastructure at Notre Dame, the relationships with NBC, ESPN, all these major networks have provided just so many opportunities and contacts in the broadcasting industry that, frankly, at other universities I would not have had. That's another thing kind of out of my control for the most part that helped me get to where I am now, which is broadcasting Notre Dame football games every week and Notre Dame basketball games and hockey games on Peacock and all that stuff that I find to be so enjoyable. So that's the best I can do for Alex in Akron. I hope that answers the question. I think it did. Multiple points that kind of could have gone either way in my career. And I'm really lucky that when I hit all those checkpoints, I was motivated to go in the right direction that helped me get here. But yes, I did imagine I'd have a job like this, but not this specific job. And I think I lucked into a pretty good one. And a reminder, if you want to ask me a question on one of these episodes of Wake Up the Echoes, you can go to fightingirish.com/wakeup to submit one of those questions. Would love to hear from you. Okay, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com. Thanks again to Marcus Freeman. Always great talking to him, checking in with the head coach. Drayk Bowen, great guest this week, and then Isaiah Dunn. I mean, he just continues to bring the best stories out of our guests. So thanks to all three of them for swinging by. Remember, download on iTunes, Spotify, and go to YouTube. Smash the like button. I think I saw the YouTube channel for Fighting Irish Athletics is now over 100,000. And there's a plaque around here somewhere. So keep growing those numbers. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com.